Screen doesn't sound. Welcome everybody to the Creative Exchange Fund General Info Session of 2025. We're so glad that you're here. Here's our agenda for this presentation today. We're going to give a general introduction to the Creative Exchange Fund, the Medium staff, website, and available spaces for the Creative Exchange Fund here at the Medium. And then just a general overview of each of the funds. We're not going to get to dive too deep into each of those. We'll have individual info sessions for those later this week. We're going to go over selection criteria, what that looks like for you, and some additional support and resources coming up. About the Creative Exchange Fund. The Creative Exchange Fund is here to support artists, creatives, and cultural organizers with funding and free space to take creative risks. With 5 different opportunities, this program helps bring bold and experimental performances, community events, artist residencies, and exhibitions to life at the Medium in downtown Springdale. Here's what's on the table: 5 individual funding opportunities. I'll let you just look at this slide. We're going to unpack this just a little bit, but we're excited to offer over $147,000 to creatives. Where is the Medium? I assume most of you have probably rendezvoused with us before, but if you have not, we are located in downtown Springdale, Arkansas, 214 South Main Street. You're welcome to pop in. Our hours are Tuesday through Thursday, 10 to 5. That's when we're guaranteed to be here. Otherwise, we're always open for public events. The Medium is a really great space. It's 25,000 square feet, and we're dedicated to removing barriers between creatives, their work, and their audiences by providing accessible studio, rehearsal, performance, and exhibition space. All of the Creative Exchange Fund projects will take place at the Medium. Here's our lovely staff, and we're all on this Zoom today. I'm Amber Paradin, the artist and community manager here. John Wayne Farr is our general manager. Thalia Madewell, operations manager. Cynthia Tran, events and front of house coordinator. And Kevin Wen, our back of house and production coordinator. This is your team that you'll be working with through the Creative Exchange Fund. And I'll talk more about this in the end, but beginning April 21st, we will open up our calendars for you to book a one-on-one session with any of us here to chat more in depth about your project based on what questions you might have. That depends on who you might meet with. If you have technical questions, you'll probably meet with John or Kevin. If you have exhibition questions, you'll probably meet with myself or Cynthia, and the list goes on. We'll talk more about that, but we are here and available for you. We want to make applying to the Creative Exchange Fund as easy and accessible as we can. Hopping right in. This is our website, themedium.art. Just so everyone knows, down here in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a pink finger pointing to a little translate button. You can click that and it will translate our whole site into Spanish if you need that. And then up in the top right-hand corner is our menu. If you click that, it will take you to this page. And under programs, you will find the Creative Exchange Fund. It's also the medium.art/CXF. All of the information I'm going to chat about today is available on our website. Once you click on the Creative Exchange Fund, you can click on any of these and it will take you to each of the funds that you're interested in applying to, and it will give you more information that we're also going over today. So we're trying to be as transparent as possible so that you all have this information at your fingertips. It says here on the slide, this page has eligibility, details, and past projects for you to click through. Highly recommend you spending a little bit of time surfing around our website just to get a feel for what we've funded in the past. And like just to see the artist archive. We have all of the previous recipients on there. So it gives you a good idea of what has made it through the Creative Exchange Fund and what we're looking to see. Also right there where the pink finger is pointing, it says 2025 platform info session. You can register for all the individual info sessions on this page as well. And then once we record all the sessions, that recorded link will also live at that same spot where that pink finger is pointing. Also, because all of the Creative Exchange Fund projects will take place at the Medium, it's important for you to maybe wrap your head around each of our spaces here. So if you click around our site, you can also go to themedium.art/spaces and click around, dig around through there. It breaks down each of our spaces. It'll lead you to a page that looks like this. You can click on each of these individually. And so if you click on main hall, it will take you to this page. And then you can rabbit hole down what the main hall offers you. It has the space layout, so you can start wrapping your head around your project proposal and what the space limitations are. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'm going to be moving pretty quickly today. I know that I'm talking pretty fast, but we have 59 slides in 60 minutes. So I'm trying to blow through this so that you all can get a good idea of what to expect for the Creative Exchange Fund. This is a cool slide. If you're, this might be cool for you to screenshot if you're interested. This gives you just a general overview of the spaces that are available for the Creative Exchange Fund. And then we'll highlight each of these spaces depending on the fund and what space is available to give you a good idea. Here's the awards again, and now we're about to dive into the Producers Fund. But before we do, I feel like this is a very important question for you all to sit with. If I received a Creative Exchange Fund award in the past, can I apply again? You sure can, and we're glad you're here. You just cannot apply to the same opportunity that you may have received before, no matter what year it was. So for example, if you got a producer's award last year, you won't be eligible for it again this year, but you can apply to any of the other opportunities, platform, mixtape, residencies, or Spectra. If you've received 2 awards in the past, which we have a few individuals that have done that, you still need to apply to a new opportunity and not something you've received before. Please ask questions in the chat if you need further clarity on that. No question is stupid. Listen, our staff here, we are still wrapping our heads around the Creative Exchange Fund. This is such a robust program and a dynamic space. There's just so much for you to comprehend. And so don't feel silly asking questions, even if I've already maybe said the answer. Okay, jumping right in. The first we're going to go over is the Producers Fund. We have 10 of these awards this year to give out, and each one is $2,500. This fund supports innovative, community-engaged events organized by individuals or organizations. The Medium campus serves as a launch pad for event producers to generate greater social and artistic impact. Like I said, we have $2,500 to give out to 10 recipients. The discipline for this, or the artistic discipline or medium, is interdisciplinary. We're pretty open. We have seen a lot of different things come through for producers, from breakdancing competition to a food event to a poetry reading. That's what this is looking to fund, something that is available to the public. The spaces for this include the black box, main hall, or the stage, and you have up to 1 week of free space at the Medium to bring this to life. Here are the spaces that you might be assigned depending on your project if you receive the Producers Fund. Please take note that the auditorium, the stage, and the theater, that should just say stage actually, but the stage is what you might get, not the entire seating area. So the highlighted area is what you might receive. We're happy to chat more about what that looks like, but we've seen some really cool stuff happen just on our stage. You close the curtains and it feels like a black box. So keep that in mind. And then the black box and the main hall are also available to producers. Here's the eligibility for producers. You must be at least 18. That's true for all of the funds. Practicing artists, groups of artists, nonprofit arts and culture organizations, and for-profit creative entities are eligible to apply. You do not need to be an Arkansas resident to apply to the Producers Fund. However, at least 50% of your featured talent, vendors, and staff must be contracted within Arkansas. And previous producer recipients may not reapply for this fund. If you want more details about producers, we're doing an info session later this week, tomorrow actually. Here's a QR code to register for that. We highly recommend doing that. We'll share more in depth projects that have happened before, go into further detail about what the medium can provide for you, what our staff will do, what's expected of you, etc. So if you'd like to jump into the producers, please register for that. Next up is platform. We have 3 awards this year, $15,000 each. We are fortunate enough that we were able to add an additional platform this year. Previously, we've only had 2 awards, so we have 3 this year, expanding those opportunities for performance-based artists. And that's what the Platform Fund supports, performance-based artists and organizations presenting new work for the stage. The Medium's 371-seat theater provides an opportunity to engage larger audiences in a theatrical setting. $15,000 goes to 3 recipients. The discipline for this is performance-based works. Again, we're pretty open to what that could look like. That could be comedy, dance and movement, theater, music. The list goes on. If it's performance-based and it is performed in front of a large audience, we're ready for you. Available spaces is the auditorium theater and the stage. It's that whole room, and you have up to 3 weeks to realize your project, and this is the space that you would receive. Here's eligibility for platform. Again, you must be 18 years old, practicing artists, groups of artists, nonprofit arts and culture orgs, and for-profit creative entities are eligible to apply. Applicants for this particular fund must reside in Benton, Washington, Carroll, Madison, Sebastian, or Crawford counties of Arkansas. Proposed projects must support shows, performances, and productions on the medium stage. Any live performance-based disciplines utilizing the theater are eligible to apply. Again, at least 50% of featured talent, vendors, and staff must be contracted within Arkansas. And if you've received platform before, you're not eligible to apply this round. Please ask questions in the chat. We are absolutely here for you. If you'd like to learn more in-depth information about the platform, please come to our info session this Wednesday at 2 p.m. It's Wednesday, April 9th at 2 p.m. There's a QR code on the screen. Scan it, register, join us. I feel like it's a really great opportunity for you to learn about what to expect and then to just ask questions to the staff. It's a really great time for you to just kind of pick our brains about what we're looking for, what we've seen succeed in the past, how you can help craft your application to have a better chance of getting through. Okay, next up, mixtape music series. We have 10 of these awards this round at $1,500 each. This is a free, all-ages live music series that funds 10 musicians presenting original work. Each mixtape performance consists of one 45 to 60-minute act within the black box or the main hall. Previously, we had 2 performances in one night. This is different this year. We will have one featured musical act per mixtape music series. 10 awards, $1,500 each. The discipline for this one is strictly music, and the available spaces will be determined by staff depending on the medium's availability and other projects coming through the space. will be in the Black Box or the main hall. Both are really awesome spots for live music. Please take note that all shows will be on a Wednesday evening. Those are already calendared. They're already scheduled for Wednesday nights. And you will get 2 days. You will have the Tuesday before for tech and load in and rehearsal if you decide to do that, which we encourage you to do. And then Wednesday will be your performance. Here's a snapshot of where those performances might be, either the Black Box or the main hall. And here's the eligibility for mixtape. Again, you must be 18 years old. Practicing artists and groups of artists are eligible to apply. Nonprofits are not eligible for this particular fund. You do not need to be an Arkansas resident to apply to this fund. However, the majority of the funds will be awarded to recipients in Benton, Washington, Madison, Crawford, Carroll, and/or Sebastian counties of Arkansas. It's important to note on this one that you must perform a 45 to 60-minute set of original music. And if you've received mixtape music series before, you're not eligible to apply again. Come to our info session, Tuesday, April 8th, 1 o'clock. That's tomorrow. There's a QR code on the screen. Please feel free to scan that. I don't know what's happening in the chat. I can see that there's a lot happening in the chat, but maybe those links are hitting the chat too. Hopefully so. So there's, we'll add the link to, I'm sure Thalia is already doing it, but there will be a link that has all of the info sessions that you're welcome to register for all of them. Attend as many as you want to and ask questions. Next up is the medium artist residencies. We have 8 of these this round at $3,000 each. This provides practicing 2D and 3D visual artists a creative studio space for 6 weeks, which includes 3 weeks for move in and move out. So if you move in quickly, you might get 3 weeks or 9 weeks. If you move out quickly, you'll get 9 weeks. But ultimately, it's a 6-week residency, and we're trying to give you a gracious 3-week period for moving in and moving out. We want artists to take creative risks, expand artistically, and build relationships with the community. The available spaces for this one are the classrooms that we have in the front of the space. Each of those are approximately 320 square feet. Again, this is a 6-week residency with 3 weeks for move in and move out. We have 8 of these awards. You'll get $3,000. And here are the spaces. They're close to the main entrance when you walk in to the left. And there are 2 classrooms. We will assign you one of those at random. The eligibility for the medium artists in residence is you must be at least 18 to apply. This is for practicing visual artists. Artists must reside in Benton or Washington counties of Northwest Arkansas. This one's very hyper-local because it's a residency where we do not provide housing. It's just a studio space. Resident projects must take into account studio dimensions, including a ceiling height of 8 feet. Woodworking, welding, foundry work, glass blowing, and related mediums are ineligible to apply due to facility limitations. We don't have ventilation. We don't have windows that can open. So please keep that in mind when you're applying. You will be asked to host an open studio event during our visual art night. This is basically an artist reception that will happen at the same time as our Spectra, which I'm going to talk about next. And both artists and residents, we ask that you open up your studios and invite the public in to either see what you've been working on. Maybe you have some artwork on display. Maybe you want to do a hands-on thing. We just ask that's the requirement for the residencies, is that you have an open studio during that night. And if you've received this fund before, you're not eligible to reapply. Our info session is coming up this Wednesday, April 9th at 11 a.m. Please register if you have questions or if you'd like to learn more or see previous recipients and what they've done in that space. Next up is our Spectra series. This one has changed a little bit this year, so if you're interested in this one, take note. This series invites visual artists, artist collectives, and art facilitators to host a group exhibition in either the Medium's main hall or our outdoor campus. This fund celebrates bold, innovative, and thought-provoking collaborative exhibitions that involve at least 3 collaborators. We have 6 of these awards for this round. 4 will be for indoor exhibitions in our main hall, and you will receive $4,500 to bring that exhibition to life. And then we have 2 outdoor opportunities at $9,000 each. Here's a little more info. Artistic discipline is really flexible in this one because it's an exhibition, including but not limited to film, video, animation, fashion, sculptures, fiber arts, multimedia, visual arts, literature and poetry, if it's exhibited in some creative fashion, and digital arts are welcome. Again, it's not limited to those. We're open to all disciplines for Spectra. The available spaces indoors are the main hall, up to 4 feet from the walls. Please take note of that. We're not able to have things free standing out in the middle of that main hall area. And we can talk more about that during our Spectra info session and why that's the rule. And then outdoor is the medium exterior and grounds. From the green space to the walls, we're open to what you might propose. The time frame for this is a 9-week minimum exhibition time, and you will have 3 weeks for installation and deinstallation of the work. Here's the footprint of what's available. If you receive the indoor Spectra, you will have access to the main hall only. If you receive the outdoor Spectra, you can propose a project anywhere within that outdoor campus footprint. If you have questions, please throw it in the chat or DM Thalia if you'd like to stay anonymous. You must be 18 to apply. Again, the indoor proposed projects must fit within 4 feet of the main hall walls to allow for audience access to the theater. Hardware, labels, hanging apparatus, and AV equipment must be provided by you, the lead artist. Practicing artists, artist groups, nonprofit arts and culture orgs, and for-profit creative entities are eligible to apply. Applicants do not need to be Arkansas residents to apply, but the ratio of Northwest Arkansas artists featured in each exhibition must be no less than 50%. And you can apply and you can curate yourself into that exhibition, but you also need to work with 2 other collaborators at least. And if you're not from Arkansas, those people need to be from Arkansas. The majority of the funds will be awarded to recipients in Benton, Washington, Madison, Crawford, Carroll, and Sebastian counties of Arkansas. Previous Spectra series, formerly Call for Curators recipients may not reapply for this fund. If you want to learn more, please come to our info session specifically to the Spectra series. We can talk more about what those limitations look like, why those parameters are set in place, and answer any questions you might have, particularly around the outdoor Spectra series. I know that's a new dollar amount this year, $9,000. Will go to 2 recipients to do outdoor things. And so I know there's some questions around what that could look like. So please come to this and we will be happy to go down the rabbit hole with you. Okay, that was a very brief overview of each of the funds. Again, go to our website and you can dig around and learn more and come to those info sessions. Now we're going to do a broad sweep of what the application looks like and what it's asking for and what percentage those points go towards your application. So applications open April 17th and they'll close May 5th. It's a pretty tight window. This is why we're doing our info sessions now, so you can start thinking about it and drafting your applications. Here's what we're going to ask for on the application. Feel free to screenshot any of these screens if you'd like. Again, we're recording this, so it'll be on the website also in the end. But we're going to ask your basic information, your contact details, who you are, your project. Tell us about your idea in simple terms, what you're creating, why it matters, and how it connects to the goals of the Creative Exchange Fund. Risk-taking and exploration. This is an important point. You will be asked to share how your project steps outside the box, experiments with new ideas, or challenges the norm. This aligns directly with the risk-taking and innovation scoring category. This is 35% of your application. This is significant. We're going to talk a little bit more about risk-taking in just a moment and what that actually means to us and how that can translate to your application. There's going to be questions about grant funding and experience receiving grants. We're interested to know if you've received grant funding before and how the Creative Exchange Fund could help support your creative work. And residency, we are going to prioritize applicants who live in Arkansas, especially in Benton, Washington counties. The closer your connection to these areas, particularly Springdale, the higher your score. I'm sure this brings up questions. Feel free to screenshot and ask questions in the chat. DM Thalia if you'd like to stay anonymous. This is continued. Here's the rest of it. Local participation and project impact. Who will your project impact and how will they participate? Whether through collaboration, workshops, performances, or other interactive elements. This is 10% of your application. Planning and feasibility. Give us a quick snapshot of your timeline, budget, and key collaborators to show that you're ready to roll. This is 10% of the application. And then supporting materials. Images, sketches, videos, or examples of past work that you could show us and show the panelists. That's going to help tell the story of what you're looking to do. What makes a strong application? A strong application clearly explains what you want to do, why it matters, and how you'll make it happen. We're looking for bold creative risks, projects that push boundaries, try new ideas, or engage the community in fresh ways. We also prioritize first-time grant recipients and projects that impact Northwest Arkansas. A great application includes a realistic plan, timeline, budget, and collaborators, and supporting materials. Just to keep it clear, specific, and passionate. We're a simple crew here, but also don't feel like you have to over-explain what you're doing. Just keep it clear and simple. Be specific. Clearly outline the project's goals, process, and expected outcomes. Explain the creative risk. Show how the project pushes artistic boundaries for you or your medium. Describe the impact. Explain how the project benefits the artist, local artists, or the community. Show readiness. A strong application includes a budget, timeline, and an execution plan for you to get it done. Provide quality supporting materials. Work samples should be relevant and compelling. A strong application clearly describes your project, its impact, and how you will execute it successfully. Period. A little bit about the evaluation and selection process. New this year, producers and mixtape music series will go through an eligibility selection process for fairness and accessibility. This is a new selection process that will not have a panel. If you're curious about what that means, please come to one of those info sessions and we will unpack that for you. Platform, artists in residence, and Spectra will be reviewed by a panel based on the following weighted criteria: risk-taking and creative exploration, your grant and funding experience, local participation and project impact, planning and feasibility, and your supporting materials. Again, feel free to screenshot these pages for you to refer back to later. This is an important one. We talk a lot about creative risk-taking and exploration. The Creative Exchange Fund, we're really interested in seeing you stretch yourself a little bit. And here's how we sort of define that for your clarity. Creative exploration is trying new ideas or techniques that help an artist grow and push their creativity. A good example of this is an oil painter might apply to the medium artist residencies and wants to try digital art for the first time. They propose creating a series of digital paintings and want to host an open studio where they show both their process and their final work, sharing what they've learned with the community. It's really that simple. What have you been doing and how can you expand on that? Risk-taking is the act of stepping into the unknown by experimenting, reaching new audiences, or collaborating in ways that may not have a guaranteed outcome. Here's an example that tries to help illustrate that. A spoken word artist might apply for the platform fund, and they want to collaborate with a musician and a dance group to create a live show mixing poetry, music, and projected art. Since they've never worked together before, they're unsure how it will turn out, but they propose taking the risk to create something new and share it with a combined audience. These are two very simple examples, and they are not limited to these examples, but I hope they illustrate for you sort of what we're looking for. If you have questions about your particular creative practice and what that experimentation and exploration look like for you, feel free to ask that in the chat. Our team is on standby to answer your questions, or we will unpack this more in the individual info sessions. But I hope this brings a little bit of clarity. Who is paneling the Creative Exchange Fund? We are inviting previous CXF recipients because we feel like they have a really great perspective on the application process and how to work within the bounds of the medium and the Creative Exchange Fund. The medium cash staff will be paneling, members of the creative community, and members from the Tyson Family Foundation, who are the generous sponsors for the Creative Exchange Fund. This is a screenshot from our website. We have a lot of frequently asked questions at the bottom of that page. Feel free to click your hearts out and go through each of those. I know that applying to grants is daunting. It's hard. It's vulnerable. We are really trying to set you up for success. So dig around on our website, look at these FAQs, and I guarantee you probably some of your questions are being answered over there. Here's a few quick ones that we'll go through because I'm sure you all have some questions, and I just have a few more slides. I'm going to pop through these, and they may even bring up more questions for you, but just to go through these really quickly. Can I use other spaces at the medium that aren't included in my fund? Each of the opportunities come with a designated space at the medium. If you'd like to reserve and pay for additional space for your project, you can do that. We are awarding you free time and space at the medium and the money that goes into that to help bring your project to life. If you envision your project happening or taking over an additional space at the medium, you will need to pay for and reserve that with us. And we will work with you. This is what the medium does full time when we're not doing the Creative Exchange Fund, is work closely with artists to bring their projects to life at an affordable fee. How will the medium promote my project or event? You will be responsible for marketing and promoting your event, but we're happy to help amplify your work. We will not be creating promotional materials for you, so please plan accordingly. If you send us promotional materials ahead of time, we will make sure and share them through Cash and the medium's channels. Can I sell tickets or art at my CXF event? Absolutely. You can sell tickets for your event, except for mixtape music series concerts. Those need to remain free for the community, but you can sell merchandise and art at those if you'd like to and keep 100% of the sales. If you choose to sell tickets or artwork for your program or project, you are responsible for handling all sales. We don't manage a box office here at the Medium, so that's on you. We have resources and recommendations for you. And so if you want to do that, we're happy to work very closely with you to help bring that to life. When will artist funds be distributed? When do you get that money? Once the grant agreement is signed, you'll receive the full funding up front, no matter when your project is calendared. We just pay everyone up front, and it's your responsibility to manage that money until your project happens. And all applicants will be notified by June 11th this year. So applications close May 5th. Everyone will be notified by June 11th. How will I know when my project will take place? This is really important. When you are applying on the application, there will be options for you to select multiple timeframes of when you want your project to happen. This little arrow here is encouraging you to read this part. We strongly encourage you to select as many options as possible. The more dates that you choose, the better your chances of getting into one that works for you. Let's say you only select one option and 14 other people also selected that option. It's going to make it hard when the panelists are reviewing your application, when it comes down to, well, all these people can only do this one date. So if you can select more than one date, it really helps you in your application. And just in general, at the Medium here, flexibility is key. And so you will select those, and then we will go through, we call it calendar calculus. John Wayne and Thalia go in and plug and play and fit everyone into the calendar. Please keep in mind that the Medium is still open to the community for them to reserve space here at the Medium. So while your program is happening, there are a lot of other programs happening from our creative community of people that have come in and are renting the Medium. So there's a little bit of that's why we call it calendar calculus, because it's a little bit of a matrix and a grid on the back end to make sure everyone can fit in accordingly. So with that said, once your project is locked in and your contract is signed, shifting dates is really hard to do. And we will only do it under dire and immediate circumstances. If we have to do that, we will work with you. But please keep that in mind as you're selecting the dates. Okay, something else to keep in mind, that if you are selected, there is a virtual meet and greet that is required of recipients that will happen on July 15th from 5:30 to 7. Actually, 5:30 to 7:30 probably. No, 5:30 to 7. John Wayne's probably laughing at me. This will be for all the recipients to just come together, and we'll do a quick snapshot of what everyone is doing so people can learn what each of the recipients are doing. And we also encourage collaboration between recipients if there's an opportunity for that. On our website, themedium.art/CXF, that's where you can find the registration link for all of the upcoming info sessions. It's all on that page. Just keep scrolling. This is what that page looks like when you get there, and it says applications open April 17th. This is where the apply button will live on April 17th. That will turn into apply now, just so you know. Okay, here are the upcoming virtual info sessions, if I haven't already said it enough, but there it is. Please join us for these if you're able to. This is where we'll be able to dig a little bit deeper. And then also, beginning April 21st, we will open up a Calendly link that will give you an opportunity to book a one-on-one session with one of our staff members. This is a really great opportunity. It's 30 minutes. Come prepared with 2 or 3 questions, and then we can kick around some ideas. Listen to what you can ask anything. You can say, I only want to talk about my application because I've already drafted it. I need your feedback. Or you could be in the idea phase. I'm thinking of this. I might do this. I don't know what I can do in that space. Those are great things to bring to the table during these one-on-one sessions. Again, we're really trying to make this as accessible as possible for you. We want you to succeed. We want to get your project in here. Okay, we did it. That's it. 11:47. Now it is time for questions. Thalia, please, everyone, please stay on mute. Thalia will have taken all of your questions from the chat, and we will address those now. Thalia, do you want to ask those, or do we want to kick those around?
Yeah, basically, if you weren't able to keep up with the chat, I was putting all kinds of words in there. The questions that stood out are, can I apply for more than one fund? The answer is no. You can only be a lead artist on one fund. So you may say, what is a lead artist? A lead artist is basically the point of contact for a CXF project. They don't have to be directly involved in presenting the work. So, an example of that would be like if you have a dance company, the artistic director or executive director could be the lead artist who fills out the application. They don't have to be on the stage doing the work. So, you can only be lead artist on one fund. However, you can collaborate with other projects. So if you are lead artist and you're applying for a mixtape fund, but you are also in a theater group who is applying for a platform fund, you can do that. We encourage that. Um, you can sell tickets to anything except mixtape. But like Amber said, you can sell merch and art at mixtape shows. We do not operate a box office. So you would need to box office those tickets yourself or set up and manage a point of sale. Somebody asked a really good question about, quote, new work for the platform fund. That doesn't mean that the work has to be original. What that means is that platform, like all like all of the funds, wants to give money to projects that take risks and explore creatively. And so I dropped those exact definitions in the chat. They're also on our website. Those are the exact words that the panelists will use to score platform, medium artist residency, and Spectra projects. So that is worth a big chunk of your score. It's 35%. So I would encourage you to take a look at those definitions. Um, let's see. There was a couple of questions about Spectra. I noticed on the Spectra side it said all disciplines, all visual art disciplines. What I don't like, what Spectra is not going to fund is performance-based work. Um, that needs to be in a different fund. Spectra projects and our medium artists in residence will participate in a visual art night, which basically serves as an opening reception, open studio for the artists of that quarter. There's more about that on our website. Can Spectra artists have pop-up artist talks, workshops, whatever? That's so cool. We would love for you to do that. However, that is subject to the availability of the main hall, given that there is 57 other events going on around it. But if your project is funded, I would love to have that conversation with you and get as much forward-facing program as we can get for you. New this year is mixtape and producers are going to go through an eligibility selection process. So, what that basically means is that these projects will be funded, chosen, selected based on just an eligibility review rather than a merit-based process. So these projects, mixtape and producers, won't be quote unquote ranked. They're just about confirming eligibility. There's no scoring involved in those funds this year. And then work periods, we closed the session with this. This is so important. On every application at the bottom, it'll say like, what work periods are you available to do your project? Please select as many of those as you think you would possibly be able to do. There have been a handful of cases where there has been just like the raddest project that got the best score, but the artist only picked like one work period, and there was just no way we could fit that project in the matrix of all of the other Creative Exchange Fund projects and external programming. So flexibility is really key there. And then also you can't change your work period, like Amber mentioned, once it is assigned. We have like 7 more minutes. Does that raise any other questions for anybody? Pop them in the chat. Um, we hope to see you at maybe an individual fund session later this week. I put that registration link in the chat a few times, and it's also on our website. Medium team, do y'all have anything to add? No.
I did see a question in the chat about time frame, and you answered it to that individual, Thalia. But projects will begin this fall and run through 2026.
Mm-hmm.
So just so you know, so you will be applying once you receive word, if you're getting the Creative Exchange Fund. We will do our meet and greet in July, and the earliest projects begin, I believe it's August.
August, yeah.
Yeah. And so keep that in mind. Projects will run August through 2026.
Jessica, that's a great question. Specific to your project, if you're interested in a show and workshop, would producers or Spectra be, which one would be more appropriate? I mean, like off the cuff, more in-person components that a project has probably would need to shift more to a producers type thing. But that is what one-on-one sessions are for, to kind of talk all around your specific project and which fund it would fit best within. So encourage you to sign up for one of those, Jessica, or you can email us, y'all. We're totally available. All of our email addresses are on our website, I think, or you can just email cxf@cashcreate.org, and we're happy to answer these individual questions. We made the application as easy as possible this year. We really whittled it down from the past 2 years. Like Amber said, we are learning and growing along with you all. It is our goal to get to the yes on funding projects. And so we want to remove as many hoops and barriers as possible. We are not down with having you jump through and over those. Basically, the application is just asking you who you are, what do you want to do, why does it matter, and how are you going to do it? That's it. There's no need to demonstrate or prove your excellence. We know that you are excellent, and we just want to give you money and space to do your stuff. So we're really excited about the application this year. We hope it is easier to fill out. I say this to everybody that comes through our doors in building the application, and really any kind of application we do at the Medium. We want you to be able to do it in the bathroom at your second job. So hopefully we're getting to that level of ease.
There was a question, I answered it in the chat, but just so everyone can hear it, because we have a couple extra minutes. Are there theme restrictions? I would love to explore some themes that culturally make us uncomfortable, like mental illness and addiction. And my response to that was, no, we don't have limitations on that. And we love these topics and would love to see them explored consciously and creatively. So just so everyone, if you're not watching the chat, so you can hear that as well. We're not afraid of hard conversations and uncomfortable topics for sure. I just think that there, as long as you can present that there's a sensitivity to the audiences that you're presenting about, and we're happy to talk through that with you as well if you have questions more in depth about what that could look like.
Yeah, that sounds like a super interesting project. The only thing that the Exchange Fund theme-wise won't support is overtly religious or political themes. And that's kind of in general at the medium as well. And if you have questions about your specific idea or project, if it, falls too much in one of those categories, just email us and we'll walk all around it with you.
Okay. Well, maybe that's it for today. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate you. We love you. We are here for you. Please email us, cxf@cashcreate.org. It's probably myself, most likely Thalia, that will pounce on those. We want to see you in here. Get back in here. Come bring your magic. Come get weird at the medium. Come experiment here. We're here for you. You can also DM us on Instagram at themedium_art. Again, that's myself or probably Cynthia. We may switchboard you over to email, but you're welcome to contact us there too. We want to be approachable. But yeah, I guess that's it. We love you guys and hope to see you at other sessions this week so we can dive a little bit deeper and help you get to that yes.
Thank you all for coming. We'll have the recording up on our website as soon as possible, and I'll also be in your inbox with the recording as well. Thank y'all. Enjoy the sunshine today.